Welcome everybody to the Scale Up Show. This is your host, Ryan Staley, and I am here with Craig Hauben. Craig is the CEO at Medispend and was named Industry Era Magazine's one of the 10 best CEOs of 2020. Prior to joining Medispend's leadership team, he was the VP of Coding Business at Clocks Health. So, Craig, welcome, man. Happy to have you on the show. Real excited to talk about you and your journey.
Ryan, real pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to chat and talk a little bit about the exciting things we're doing here at Medispend. We have two main products. One is what's called transparency reporting. Manufacturers all around the world have requirements in 60 or more jurisdictions or states or countries in the world where they have to tell the jurisdiction what transfers of value they gave to a physician. What's that mean in layman's term is if I went to the doctor's office and I gave him a box of donuts, I got to report it, or I may have to report it depending where it is. So our transparency solution handles all of those global reporting requirements and also allows them to aggregate all of their global data into our solution so they have a source of truth for all of that data, which has been a solution that's been around since Obamacare came into place. Actually, pre-Obamacare, Obamacare was 14. These really started around 12 and 13. Was when these requirements started. Our second main solution is what we call Engagement Manager, and this allows a manufacturer or life sciences company to have a contractual relationship with a physician or a hospital in a way that helps them know they're doing it the right way. That's things like, hey, I can't pay somebody $1 million to come work for me for an hour, right? That would be some kind of inducement or bribery. I can't take two physicians who have the exact same qualifications and pay one 10 times more than the other. You might say that's bribery. So there's contracting, there's validating that happened in the right way, and then making sure that the payments happen properly. Those are our two big products. We also have smaller products around insights and analytics around those two products, as well as grants and studies management, which is another workflow system to help them process grant requests for their drugs or devices.
It takes a lot to be leading a $20 million plus company. And so I just love to hear like how you got here. What are some of the challenges you ran into along the way? And I think that'd be amazing to hear.
Yeah, so in some ways I think my story is classic and old school in that I kind of came up through the ranks and learned various things in order to get me here. But I also know from another perspective, I was a little bit of an iconoclast as I came in my career. When I started my career 30 years ago, I had lots of luck, but also didn't really know what I wanted to do. I got lucky in my first job. I actually ran a P&L for a public company at the time. In fact, they were a public company, just got sold recently. I kind of liked that, did that for a couple of years, and then I was like, I wasn't really sure what I did, and I thought I might want to get into hardcore technology. So I went and ran half of the tech business for another company and learned a ton about technology. I had coding teams working for me, and we re-engineered applications and did that kind of stuff. And a couple of years into that, I said, I don't know if I really want to do that. So I went into Big Six Consulting and learned a ton about business process, about re-engineering, about helping companies build to grow. And like a lot of people, a few years in, I was tired of the travel. I said, I want to be home. And kind of the story of moving and doing different things actually became the baseline for me. I kind of sometime in my late 20s and early 30s decided I didn't want to be the X guy. I didn't want to be the claims guy. I didn't want to be the tech guy. I just wanted to be able to do lots of different things. And in my late 20s and 30s, that was hard because everyone was looking for, a peg to put in a hole of the same shape. But when I look back at it, that really was one of the secrets to my success. By the time I got into or ready for these types of roles, I had done so many different things. I had done finance, I had done technology, I had done process, I had done operations, I had done all kinds of sales work, and it really was that kind of well-roundedness, if you will. I think of the old baseball platoon player, which really gave me, I think, an interesting perspective on how to run a business, and B, the experience of seeing lots of different things. And that's what I bring to my job here as a CEO for my other executive jobs is, I bring kind of a fresh perspective. I bring a broad perspective, And I'm really a guy who's focused on how do you grow the company, how do you make it bigger. As I say to many, when you have a really well-run company, you just want to tweak a little bit. Craig's not the guy you want to call. When you want to explode your growth, you want to create new products, you want to shake things up, you want to break glass. That's what I do, and I've been able to do that because of the great wide experience I had when I was younger.
What are you leveraging the most now? What do you see working really, really well?
Where I leverage most of my time with sales today is around value prop and about messaging and about helping not only our customers but even our employees understand the power of what we've built and how what we've built is unique, how it can really help our customers run the businesses the way they want to, but run them in a safe set of waters, if you will, without getting themselves in trouble. And that's what I focus on. That's it's that's the hardest part sometimes, is taking something that's complex and explaining it in a very simple way. And I spend a lot of time doing that. For us, I think the two best paths that work for us are just direct person to person marketing and developing a relationship, combined with, I'll call it guerrilla internet marketing. We're using a series of different tools, whether it's webinars or direct mail, email, or other things, to be able to get attention so that we have an opportunity to build that relationship. Those are the things that work best for us. We don't have, I don't have 50,000 buyers in my market. I probably have, I don't know, 5,000 buyers. And I've got another
Yeah.
10,000 kind of stakeholders. So it is a much more heavily focused marketing effort to be able to get in to a prospect, to be able to push out the noise of the market and help them understand how we can help them. The biggest mistakes that I've made have been about, maybe I'm just going to generally call overthinking things and not trusting myself, thinking too much about trying to be what I thought other people wanted me to be, or not being who I thought I needed to be because I was afraid it wasn't what people wanted me to be. That is, I think, for most people, a leadership journey, and that did take me quite a while to be comfortable enough to be able to say, hey, look, this is who I am, and I think it's what you need. And if it's not what you need, like, that's okay, because you can always find someone else who's going to give you what you need. But what I'm going to give you is going to be authentic and going to be transparent and honest. And it took me a long time to figure that out.
Man, I think there's some brainwashing at the corporate level with this whole thing, where you have to be a robot, you have to be professional, you have to do this, you have to, you know what I'm saying? And so I think it really, really, any kind of leadership position, plus you gotta watch what you say, you gotta watch who you say it to, you gotta be
Oh my
so
God, yeah.
politically correct. So I think that that makes people so scared to go out on a limb and be truly who they are sometimes. Would you agree or disagree?
I do. I think there's two things. I think that you're right that the window of what's acceptable, whether it's language or behavior, has definitely narrowed. There's no question. And I could argue either side that that's good or bad for business. I think that that's, in my mind, separate from being who you are naturally, because you can be authentic and real, but also choose your words
Right,
intelligently. Um,
right.
and but I do think that being a CEO in these times is much more challenging than maybe it was 20 years ago for these reasons. And for me, being a CEO during COVID, a CEO during the Great Resignation, a CEO during the Me Too movement, a CEO for private equity investors who have a different perspective than an independent board. It's challenging, and I think that for me, it's those challenges that what get me up in the morning, because I love dealing with these challenges and trying to succeed within them every day.
Last but not least, where do you see the future of tech going?
I think that if you think about B2B tech and about solutions provided, not B2C or others, I think it's a lot of it's about integration and about insights. You'll hear lots of people talking about NLP and about AI, but in my mind, those haven't really provided really predictive analytics or insights yet. I think that smart companies are integrating much more broadly and much more deeply to get deeper data sets to be able to give much deeper insights to the customers, and I see that happening across industries.
Excellent. Well, this was great having you on, Craig. I really appreciate it. Where can people find you? Where can they learn more about you and Medispend?
Definitely find Medispend at medispend.com. You can also find Medispend on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn, Craig Hauben, on LinkedIn, and follow my posts if you feel like it.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being on the show, Craig. It was a pleasure.
It was great to meet you. I thank you.